Welcome to Charts Today. My name's David Linton, and today's edition for Friday, the 8th of December, comes to you from London. And we start, as always, by looking at the dollar index. And the dollar is actually just really climbing out of this cloud. So we are seeing a transition into bullish territory here on the medium term chart. The long term chart still has more to do, short term looking bullish, but we are just starting to see the dollar having found support, looking like we've got a good year ahead. 2017 wasn't a good year for the dollar. 2016 was better. Uh, so we are just seeing that. Looking at the euro, that's sinking lower against the dollar and again coming out of the clouds. So this is the change that we've been talking about. And so it looks like weaker time ahead for the euro, stronger time for the dollar. And the Japanese yen, we see the dollar here really moving strongly, again making that transition. So that's very strong as well. Sterling looking like it will just poke through on the dollar here, just sitting at this 135 level almost. A lot of volatility around this EU Brexit deal this morning, but interestingly, we are bullish against the dollar here. So sterling is the one currency looking a bit better, looking strong against the euro as well, strong against the Swiss franc, and strong against the Australian dollar as well. So we are just seeing that change there. Bitcoin, quite a quite a chart to look at here, and we are just seeing this pullback. Interesting on Bitcoin. One thing you can do is just look at the stop loss on Updata. It's this. It's the S key. You just press the S key on Updata, and all you have to do really is set this up, double click here, and we see this 5% stop loss has been breached. So what's interesting now is we're seeing some volatility at the end of this run. So the next few days look like set to be quite volatile for Bitcoin now that we've had this pullback. But it'll be interesting to see if we can go higher or whether we're going to then go lower. And we've got a range here between 17,000 and 14,500 just in the last 24 hours. That's quite a range. So a move above 17 would be bullish, a move below 14.5 would be bearish. Keep an eye on that. So if we look at the S&P 500, it pulled back a little bit over the last few days. It was stronger again last night. Nasdaq still bearish below the cloud, even though we did have a better day yesterday. We've got downside targets of about 3% and upside targets of 3 and 4%. So Nasdaq just perched to go either way at the moment, but still bullish on the medium and long-term charts. The Dow similarly bullish on all three charts. Russell 2000 has been pulling back and just testing support on the short term. The S&P future is also just a bit bearish below the cloud, and the Nasdaq E-mini up 0.5% at the moment. So it does suggest the Nasdaq will open higher. Maybe we'll see a stronger end to the week. FTSE 100 is up, but just below the cloud still, and the FTSE 250 also below the cloud. The DAX, very strong move this morning there. We're seeing that weaker euro having an impact. So DAX coming higher, and we are just seeing short-term upside targets as well. So DAX looking stronger. The Nikkei also is looking bullish on all three time frames now. The Hang Seng is not, still bearish there, and Shanghai, although we're up this morning, Hang Seng up by over 1%. The Shanghai up 0.5%. Although we are seeing that, we are still bearish, but there is a chance that we're finding support here on the lagging line in the cloud. And the Sensex is also looking like a strong recovery as well, although we're still slightly bearish below the cloud. Australian market looking a bit stronger too. Brent crude sitting at 62.50, just starting to come through on the cloud on the price point, but very flat the last few days, just struggling to break that $65 level. And WTI still bearish below the cloud, but looking like it's about to test resistance there. Medium and long term still looks pretty good. US nat gas sitting at 2.8, and we are still bearish there as well. And copper still bearish in the short term. Interestingly, we're finding support on the lagging line on copper, but we are just coming below on the price. If we go straight to gold, we see the gold chart sinking lower here in the medium term. The key thing is, will we go lower than this July low? Still looking pretty bullish on the long-term chart, but the short-term chart is actually starting to look bearish. And silver, much the same picture, sinking very much lower here on the medium term. So precious metals not looking as good. US Treasury yield sitting at 2.38%. Really have hovered between this 2.3 and 2.4 area for quite a while now. So it'll be interesting to see if we can break that we have got a new upside target here on the short-term chart, 4% higher, and so that will be quite interesting. 247 is the level there. Stronger dollar may also have an impact. Looking at Apple, we're still bearish below the cloud on the short term. Google just trying to get back above the cloud on the short term, but still struggling. Amazon also struggling, and Facebook actually has just come back above the cloud, back into the 180s yesterday. Very strong performance over the last couple of days from Facebook, so good to see that recovering. And lots of upside targets still on this long-term chart. I should declare I've got an interest in Facebook and Microsoft as well. And we're seeing here Microsoft still bearish below the cloud, but still looking amazing in the long-term trend. That's it for today. Until Monday, happy charting. Have a great weekend. See you then.